But experts are now claiming that Britain is a nation of shoplifters. That's right, shoppers are reportedly resorting to nicking everyday essentials from the shelves. Now, they partly are saying, well, this is to keep their families going after the steep price rises over the past year, but experts actually warn that people are becoming addicted to it and getting a shoplifting high. So I want to know what's behind the thieving, frankly. I also just want to go now quickly to a couple of your points here. I'm not going to name people on this, just in case the old bill come for you years after the event, OK? So thank you very much for everyone who's been getting in touch. I shamefully had a thing for nicking stationery when I was 9 years old, but when I was 10, I moved up to nicking album covers with no records in them. Yeah, that is weird. That is a bit weird. To my eternal shame, separate email now, this individual says that they purchased £70 of ice cream and champagne for the kids. I've got a lot of question here. Can I be your kid, maybe, if that's on the go? But there we are. And they nicked a shoveled spoon from Harrods. So that says a lot about you, that email. A lot about you. Just one more quick one here. Patrick, when I was 10, I did a paper round. I stole a Cadbury's cream egg and put it in my back pocket, but I was wearing skinny jeans, so it was visible. I still feel bad. 45 years ago, and it melted anyway. So anyway, there we go. But I want to know whether or not people can actually wean themselves off shoplifting and why they get a buzz out of it. I'm joined now by psychotherapist Emma Kenny. Emma, great stuff. Great to have you on the show. So people are becoming addicted to shoplifting. Why?
Well, people always have shoplifted. Potentially, we've got better at figuring out when they do. I mean, only one out of 150 people ever get caught for shoplifting. Oh. But I guess the cost of living certainly is going to be part of it. Higher rates of dependency, because if you're a drug user, you're going to need to steal to kind of feed your habit. Also, yeah, there is a high to some degree. So people get a dopamine kick when they steal. And obviously, when you get away with it, there's no reinforcement and consequences. So that encourages you to do more. But also, the very fact that a lot of people don't see commercial stealing in the same way in context as they would a home invasion, for example, because they contextualize that as, well, they're insured and they're big business. So that's one of the mental disassociations that people make. Yeah, indeed. No, and I've seen some really brazen shoplifting things. I was in Boots once and someone literally, the automatic doors open, they just came in, the rucksack was open and they just swept a load of the kind of like aftershave packs that you can get, you know, those kind of pamper packs. They just swept them all into a bag and off, and it was done in about 10 seconds and that was it. So it is actually quite easy for people to do, really. But do people get some kind of proper psychological buzz out of it? Is there a bit of that, not just the people who are doing it for quotes-unquote necessity? Yeah, so you've got two levels there. So you've got people who are genuinely kleptomaniacs. So that means that they have a psychological classification where they just cannot help themselves. But you also have people who basically enjoy the kick that they get. Like anything, like drinking, like smoking, like gambling. It enables you to feel that you've got this immediate buzz. So dopamine is released in that way. And that means that unless you're getting some kind of negativity response, you're not going to necessarily stop. So certainly we see that there is a psychological issue there. Also, people with OCD, there is a particular syndrome of that, very rare, but particular syndrome where people are addicted to the ritual of stealing. So certainly there can be psychological conditions that lead to it. I think there's still a lot of reasoning that people do it because they feel that they want to get away with something because they haven't necessarily got the economy. So it's not necessarily about the fact that they can't pay for it, it's that they can get away with it. And the truth is, humans like that. I mean, I've never met a human yet who doesn't like thinking that they can get one over on something. It's not because they're a nasty, callous individual. It's just that sense of, oh, I got away with it. Another big reason why there's an increase is self-service tills. I mean, it's very easy to get away with stealing. So the consequence of that is you get to steal, and also, is the security guard going to run after you? Because they're risking a lot of themselves to do that and they're not getting paid enough. Well, so again, the feedback and response isn't that big for the consequences.